across the country, from Maine to Southern California, from Idaho to here at the University of Texas, women's basketball has become a faster, more aggressive, and higher-scoring game than ever. I'm Mary Flannery, and we're about to meet some very special young ladies, the 10 best women basketball players in America. In 1985, women's basketball became more popular than ever before. When the women took the court for the NCAA Division I championship on network television, they achieved nationwide recognition that afternoon by topping other major spring sports and TV ratings. Captivating a wide variety of audiences with fast-paced, end-to-end action has become the norm in women's basketball. And this year's 10 All-Americans epitomize this style of play that has turned the game into a major collegiate sporting event.
Now, before we start talking specifically about the individual players, I think we need to review exactly the type of things that we're looking at for our Kodak All-America team. You may want to jot these down. First of all, we want to really look at their statistics.
Just who becomes an All-American? That decision is made by a committee of 9 head coaches representing 9 districts across the country as organized by the Women's Basketball Coaches Association.
Offensively and defensively. Okay, I think third would be their role on that particular team. Really look at the role.
Before making their final selection, the committee takes into careful consideration everything from a player's statistics to her academic status. I'm walking with Pam Gant, who's a senior at Louisiana Tech. Pam grew up in Joliet, Illinois, but she plays her basketball in Ruston, Louisiana. Pam, what do you like best about the Tech program?
I like the fan support, and I love the program. Every time we go to a away game, we have more fans than the other team has, and that really helps you to play well and know that everybody in the country really knows the Lady Texters.
As the only returning starter from last year's national semifinalist team, Pam had her finest season ever as a Lady Texter. Pam takes great pride in playing every game as hard as she possibly can. Through her total dedication to basketball, she has become a veritable scoring machine. When Louisiana Tech needed points, they looked to senior Pam Gant. E.J. Lee from Northeast Louisiana is one of the fastest players in the country. Boy, she really is quick. From Seoul, South Korea, junior New Young Lee, better known as E.J. Lee, has been called by several scouts the most exciting player in the country. A consistent outside shooter, her deadly accuracy earned her the Southland Conference Player of the Year award. But what separates E.J. from other guards is her all-out aggressiveness in leading the fast break. Already, Northeast Louisiana's all-time assist leader, her playmaking capabilities were a major reason why the Lady Indians advanced to the Final Four in this year's NCAA championship. Most players first learn how to play basketball at home in their neighborhood. And when there's 6 girls in the family, you've got a built-in team. And that's what helped Sheila Collins of Tennessee become an All-American.
I think what Sheila Collins does best on the basketball floor is create offensive opportunities for our team. Making the penetration and finishing it off with a shot or drawing the foul.
Always one of the smartest players on the court, Sheila's knack for finding the open player has enabled her to become one of the top guards in the country. Sheila also possesses a delicate shooting touch, and she was the MVP in the Southeastern Conference Championship despite competing with an artificial ligament in her left knee. When the season began for the 49ers of Long Beach State, one thing was certain. The key to their success would depend upon number 55, Kirsten Cummings. Responding well to the challenge, Kirsten led the 49ers in nearly every category, including scoring, block shots, and rebounding. But what makes these accomplishments all the more special was the fact that she was able to do it despite a rather severe handicap.
Kirsten, you told me that you're 70% deaf. Do you feel that you're an example to other deaf people?
Yeah, I do. I just hope that they can see myself and Jeff Float of USC, who's an Olympic swimmer, gold medalist, that they can do athletics, they can succeed in whatever they want to do if they just put their mind to it and don't let their handicap get in the way of them.
When you're in a game, how do you communicate with the other players on your team?
Well, in our team, we had a hand signal to determine what play we were going to do or what defense we were in. So that helped out a lot. But I really rely on expressions into people's faces.
You mean you see the face of the guards on your team and you can tell what offense you're supposed to be in?
Yeah, in other words, she'll be looking at me and I better come up to high post or else.
In her 4 years at the University of Georgia, Janet Harris has almost single-handedly rewritten the record books. As Georgia's all-time leading scorer for both men and women, she also holds the all-time records in 8 separate categories. A fanatical rebounder both defensively and offensively, Janet is one of the most dominating players in women's basketball and does not hesitate to credit head coach Andy Landers for much of her success.
It made me realize I can do more things than I thought I could. I mean, you may think, well, I can't do this and I can't do that. And he puts you in that position, to see if you can really do it. And you find out that you can, and that makes you happy.
Janet's selection to the All-America team is an honor she's received 3 times in her 4 years at Georgia. She now joins Cheryl Miller, Nancy Lieberman, and Carol Blazejowski as 3-time Kodak All-Americans.
A commitment to excellence. Dedicating yourself to becoming the best player you can possibly be. That's what it takes to become a champion. This is a commitment shared by Kodak and Adidas, 2 companies supporting women's basketball long before I was named to the All-America team. Today, I represent Adidas, and I know there are more opportunities for young women to play basketball than ever before. Strive to be the best player you can possibly be. Believe me, the rewards and recognition will follow.
Taking time out for a cruise down the Colorado River provided a few of the All-Americans the chance to get to know one another. No longer fierce rivals, these talented young women are now members of the same team, a team recognized as the best in women's basketball. When playing against Georgia this season, opposing teams discovered 2 things. Janet Harris ruled the boards, and guard Teresa Edwards took care of everything else. A major factor why Georgia advanced to the NCAA Finals this season, Teresa also owns a gold medal as a member of the 1984 Olympic team, and she admitted her Olympic experience is one of the reasons she's become such a dominating player.
When I went on the Olympic team, when I made it, I was scared, and I was the youngest and, least experienced, so I couldn't expect too much, right? Well, I went in and I worked hard, and the girls were good. They brought the best out of me, and, it was hard every day. It's not where you're up or down. You got to be on your toes every day, and it's that situation for me, and I took mental experience back with me and physical experience, and now when I went back to Georgia, and every time I step on the floor, it's like I know what I'm doing. It's like you can't throw too much at me that I haven't already been through, and that's the kind of confidence I can go out on the floor and play with.
It seems like basketball players are getting taller and taller, and they are. But our next All-American, Cami Etheridge from Texas, is just 5 feet 5. Cami, did you ever think that being 5'5" would be a disadvantage?
Well, growing up, I think I was most of the time taller than most of the players I've played with. I grew pretty quick, and I never thought about it until I got into college and played against a lot taller players, and by then I pretty much knew that I would not grow anymore and accepted what I was dealt with.
I think it is her all-out effort that makes her an All-American. I think we ask her to do more than any point player in the country. We ask her to play tenacious, man-to-man, full-court pressure defense for 94 feet. At the same time, we ask her to push the ball down the floor at breakneck speed and run our fast break game. We are a transition ball team, and that demands excellent physical conditioning. She plays more minutes than anybody on our team, and many times she plays the entire 40 minutes at a very fast pace. To me, that tells you the kind of player she is, the kind of dedication that she has, and how important basketball is to her.
This season at Old Dominion, a good time was had by one and all as the Lady Monarchs, led by number 13, Medina Dixon, captured the NCAA championship. A transfer student, Medina arrived at Old Dominion already possessing the skills to both control the boards and score points, needing only to make a few minor adjustments to fit into Old Dominion's program.
I think I've adjusted more to the coach's styles than I have progressed. I think I was pretty well developed when I came out of high school. I needed to sharpen up on a few skills, but basically I did a lot of adjusting.
Under the watchful eye of head coach Mary Stanley, Medina adjusted well enough to be named the Sun Belt Conference Player of the Year, carrying on the long tradition of outstanding athletes at Old Dominion. She is Northwestern's all-time leading rebounder, but what senior Anuka Brown does best is put the ball in the basket. Her 30 points per game average led the NCAA for both men and women, and she told me her ability to score was a direct result of long hours of practice.
You have a reputation as a shooter, as a tremendous scorer. Is shooting something that someone can really teach another person, or is it something that has to come from within you?
My shooting has just come from hours and hours of practice. You know, just practice until it feels smooth, until you can do it in your sleep.
Well, I think the amazing thing about Anuka Brown this year was the fact that every team that played Northwestern knew that if you stopped Anuka Brown, you had a good chance of beating Northwestern. She was double-teamed, triple-teamed, elbowed, pushed, shoved, knocked down. And I guess the amazing fact about her this year is that she was able to score under all that pressure.
Like Anuka Brown, Cheryl Miller of the University of Southern California is making the most of her basketball career.
You can get a great education. You can use basketball to travel all over the country like I did, get a great education, and do other things. You know, go into broadcasting, go into a business firm, be a lawyer, but use basketball, make it a tool to make your goals and, you know, to accomplish all your dreams. And that's what I've, you know, basically tried to show, you know, my whole life, and to give little children a chance, especially girls, you know, the opportunity that, hey, you can play sports, but you can also be, you know, a nurse or anything you want to be.
Her 3 years at USC have been nothing less than spectacular. An All-American her freshman and sophomore years, she played a major role in leading the women of Troy to 2 national championships. Now as a junior, Cheryl Miller has received her 3rd All-America selection, which comes as no surprise to head coach Linda Sharp.
Well, I think her competitiveness and her intensity really sets her in a different group. Brings her to the top. She obviously is a fierce competitor. She plays to win. She plays hard. She has great intensity throughout the game, and I think that makes her play at a different level.
Multi-talented, Cheryl's ability to play both ends of the court with equal effectiveness is one of the reasons why she is recognized today as the top player in women's basketball. Culminating a week of excitement was the awards ceremony, where Vice President of Eastman Kodak, Bill Cook, paid tribute to those responsible for the development of the 10 All-Americans.
We feel that the players are particularly honored because they have been selected by a knowledgeable group of judges, the WBCA coaches themselves. So we salute you, your organization, and your many members for your continued work with these fine young athletes and for your dedication to excellence as their teachers.
A short time later, the All-Americans took center stage to receive their awards. Representing the group was senior Anuka Brown, who spoke of the honor and responsibilities of being a Kodak All-American.
Being a Kodak All-American is, I guess, it's a once-in-a-lifetime chance, but it really gives you an opportunity to be a good role model for younger people. We all have a real special responsibility to the young people coming up today. And the last thing I want to say is thank everybody for just making this so special. I can't tell you how much fun I'm having this weekend.